Good morning, everyone. It's Sal Warner. How you're doing? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the episode of Breaking Dawn, early in the morning. Breaking Dawn, and we're here with you live for the latest news on Manchester United. I hope you've had a fantastic evening. I hope you had a fantastic sleep. I hope you're having a fantastic morning. I hope you're having a fantastic afternoon. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a fantastic time. Now, let's bring you straight into, before I bring you straight into the news about Manchester United, please don't forget to subscribe and smash a like on the video. If you guys could do that, they'd be absolutely immense. We really appreciate that if you guys could do that. Now, let's get straight into it. Of course, there was the news last night and yesterday that Manchester United were interested in Bayern Munich defender Nasser Mazraoui. So Nasser Mazraoui is a Moroccan international, of course, who hasn't been who hasn't been on the radar recently, but suddenly popped out of nowhere with news that Manchester United are after Mazraoui. Now, of course, Manchester United are after Bayern Munich's De Ligt. Could Manchester United do a double deal with Bayern Munich for De Ligt and Mazraoui? I'm not too sure about that, but Mazraoui, of course, is a 26-year-old Moroccan international. Had 19 appearances for Bayern Munich, and let's see how it does. 30 million euros is the fee. I think that's quite good. So Man United should really go for it if they feel like he's the right player who's going to fit the mold. Then why not? But what does that do for De Ligt? Does De Ligt still come to Manchester United? Will Manchester United do that double deal? Who knows what Manchester United could be up to? Manchester United have different news every single day. Different media outlets are reporting that name, this name, different names on the conveyor belt every single day. That every single day we're getting a different player linked to our club. So, what do you think about the Mazraoui news? It looks like it's pretty solid. Certain journalists are talking about Mazraoui. And over here, Mazraoui looks like he'll be leaving Bayern Munich. Of course, Bayern Munich do need to sell to buy. And this is the issue Bayern Munich are having. And this adds weight to the rumours that they will be selling players. Will Mazraoui be one of those players, the Moroccan international? Who knows? If we do a double bid, if we do a double deal with Bayern Munich, can we strike a deal for both? Who knows? It might be a good move for us. It might be a good move for Manchester United. What do you think about that? What do you think about Mazraoui coming? Was it Nasser Mazraoui, 26-year-old Moroccan international, 30 million euros? What do you think about that? Would you be happy with that deal? I still think I would like another defender in there. We need a left-sided centre-back. And that's my opinion. Good morning, Larouk, and good morning, Tony Following. How are you doing, my friends? I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Now, news outlets are reporting, my sources are reporting that Manchester United and Ten Hag have been keeping a keen eye on Jorrel Hato. Jorrel Hato, of course, an 18-year-old Ajax player who has come to the attention of Manchester United over the past year. Good morning, Sunny. How you doing? Basically, Ten Hag is really interested in this player and has asked Manchester United, Ineos, and the team to try and strike a deal with Ajax for Jorrel Hato. Of course, Jorrel Hato is a left-sided centre-back, a left-back, and a left wing-back. So he can play in various positions. I also believe he can play in central midfield. He's a good player, 18 years old, Ajax, Dutch future international, should I say. It could happen, but would you be happy with another product from Ten Hag coming through the door, another player who's connected in a way to Ten Hag coming through the door? Would you be happy with that? I mean, I would. I think we should be interested in these young players. I think these players are the future, and I think we should really go after these type of players. Jorrel Hato is one of those players I would go after. Left centre-back, left wing-back. Brilliant. So it seems very mature for his age. He's quick, he's powerful. Could be a good deal for Manchester United, and it's one that is not being mentioned anywhere. But I am hearing that Erik Ten Hag is very interested in Jorrel Hato. And Jorrel Hato could be in line for a move to Manchester United. If he doesn't go to Manchester United, he will end up at a massive club, a very, very good prospect, a very, very good player. And I believe that Manchester United could shock everybody and sign a Jorrel Hato. Jorrel Hato, of course, has been playing for the last year or so, obviously 19 only, 18 only, and left back, left wing back, left centre back, central midfield. Brilliant news that is, if we do sign a player of his calibre at his age, a young left back, left centre sided, centre back, left wing back. It's because what we need, doesn't it? Isn't it? It's what we need. We need a Hato, don't we? We need someone like that to come in on the left sided berth to challenge Malacia and challenge Shaw. Of course, news of Kadioglu and Gutierrez was floating around for the last few weeks. I am very interested in Kadioglu. I think Kadioglu is a fantastic player, and I think Gutierrez is a fantastic player. So don't be surprised if Manchester United do make a move for a left-sided centre-back very soon. Hato is another name on the conveyor belt of names that are coming through the door, coming through the speakers at Man United. Gerald Hato, 18 years old, Ajax player. Don't be surprised if you hear a lot more about this news coming within the next week or so. You will hear a lot more about Jorrel Hato and a move to Manchester United. Erik ten Hag is a massive, massive fan of Jorrel Hato, and don't be surprised if we do make a bid for him. It wouldn't be, would it? It wouldn't be a surprise. Another Dutch international, another player playing for Ajax coming through. Yeah, so another player coming through the system at Ajax who could sign for Manchester United. Will he sign for Manchester United? Who knows? But be sure you'll hear some news about Jorrel Hato very soon, and you'll start hearing news about how Ten Hag rates the guy, and he wants a player like Jorrel Hato in the side. Don't be surprised about that. Of course, Manchester United are looking to hijack AC Milan's bid for Youssouf Fofana. Youssouf Fofana, of course, is a 25-year-old French international. He currently plays for Monaco, midfield central. AC Milan have agreed a deal with Fofana. I mean, agreed personal terms. They're still negotiating with Monaco, and it could happen. Manchester United could hijack another deal from the grasps of AC Milan. How do you feel about that? Is that fair on AC Milan? Are they just AC Milan must hate us right now? You know, they must really despise us the way we're doing our business. We're going after Youssouf Fofana now, and Youssouf Fofana's head has turned, and Manchester United could end up signing Fofana in the middle. What that does with the Ugarte deal, in regards to Ugarte, Manchester United is still negotiating with PSG about a deal for Ugarte. But my opinion is we will have a here we go this week in regards to Ugarte. I believe Ugarte will become a Manchester United player. We hope by the end of the week, by Friday, we will be getting a here we go from the powers that be in regards to a Fofana. So Fofana could be a Manchester United, Ugarte could be a Manchester United player. So we should be hearing a here we go in regards to Ugarte this week. But Manchester United have inquired about Fofana and look like they want to hijack the deal from the grasp of AC Milan and take Fofana to Manchester United. What do you think about that? The fee will be 15 to 22 million euros. A very, very good steal, in my opinion. A very, very good buy. Cheap and affordable. So don't be surprised if Ineos do go for Fofana, and don't be surprised if they pull out all the stocks to hijack the deal for the grasp of AC Milan. And AC Milan, of course, won't be happy about that. We've taken Xerxes from them. They're not going to be happy about us taking Fofana as well. What do you think about that deal? How do you feel about it? Manchester United, of course, are interested in a number of midfielders, so don't be surprised. There are a number of midfielders that Manchester United are interested in. Of course, Supermendi, João Neves. We got Ugarte, now Fofana, Richard Rios. These players are all interested, all gaining interest from Manchester United, and all could end up at Manchester United. Not all of them, not 5 of them. We're not going to sign every single midfielder in the world, but don't be surprised if 2 of those players could be at Manchester United next season. 2 new midfielders. It looks like Manchester United are looking for a couple of midfielders to cover the loss of Casemiro and maybe McTominay, who could be out the door very, very soon. McTominay gaining the interest of Spurs and gaining the interest of Fulham as well. So don't be surprised if something develops in regards to that, we could have 2 out of the 5 players that we are interested in coming to Manchester United, which will be very, very, very good for Man United and our squad. So we need quality and depth. We need a good midfield. Of course, the midfield is the linchpin of a successful side, and that's what we need. Now, Manchester United, of course, have been linked with a number of players over this summer. It's been crazy because we've had a new name almost every single day. But rest assured, these names Manchester United are interested in. So what Manchester United are doing, they're bidding for a player. If it doesn't work, they've got another player in line. So they've got another player they can bring in who is already ready, that we're ready to bid for. We're ready to agree terms. We've already agreed terms with, and we can just get the deal done quickly. That's what Manchester United are doing. Now, in regards to Jorrel Hato, as I mentioned earlier, Jorrel Hato is another one that they're keeping quiet. A very, very talented left back, left centre-sided centre back. But Ten Hag is excited about the player, and he wants that player. He wants Jorrel Hato at Manchester United. So that left-sided centre-back, that left back, that left wing-back can be sorted for the next 10 years. If we get a player like Jorrel Hato, he could be the next one through the conveyor belt of great players that we're signing at the moment. You will hear news this week. By the end of the week, there will be more news, more murmurs about Jorrel Hato. And of course, Ugarte could get the here we go. I believe Manchester United will strike a deal with PSG. If it isn't a fee, it could even be a loan with an obligation to buy. That could be a deal as well that could be done, which would obviously leave up funds to buy another midfielder in a João Neves, or we can obviously put the money towards Ugarte, of course. So what that would do with PSG, that would upset PSG, of course, because they are after João Neves as well, and they are desperate to get the money from another club to pay for João Neves for them. So it's important that we wake up to that. They do want to overprice Ugarte so that they can get João Neves through the door, and we can pay for that for them. So we cannot help rivals. I know many will say that PSG are not our rivals, but they are, in a sense, that in regards to the next few years, where we want to be is where they want to be. We want to be challenged for the Champions League. They want to be challenging for the Champions League. So we should not help these teams. We should get João Neves, and we should try our best to pull out all the stops to get a player of that caliber. We do need a player of that caliber, similar to Mainu type player. So if we had him, we can rotate Mainu, we can rest Mainu when we have to rest Mainu. Of course. Now, taking it back to Noussair Mazraoui. Noussair Mazraoui is another player Manchester United are interested in, as I spoke earlier in the show. Mazraoui is a Moroccan international, 26. He came out of nowhere. Manchester United bidding for Mazraoui. What do you think about that? 26-year-old Moroccan international. Haven't heard much about him in regards to Manchester United. So Manchester United signing him, but he's very evidently highly on Manchester United's wanted list. What do you think about that? Bayern Munich do have to sell. Bayern Munich do have to get rid of some players. Let's see what happens in regards to that. But Manchester United obviously want De Ligt as well, still want De Ligt. Will they sign Mazraoui instead of De Ligt? Could that happen? It would be great if we get both players through the door, wouldn't it? If we can get a Mazraoui and a De Ligt through the door, that would be great. The only worry is we do not want teams... players that they don't want completely. We don't want players who are surplus to requirements, who haven't worked out at Bayern Munich, because Mazraoui's only had 19 appearances for Bayern Munich, so he is not our first teamer at Bayern Munich. So we have to be careful who we're buying, if we're not buying leftovers and players that we just want to throw away, that Bayern Munich just want to dump, you know. Obviously, Bayern Munich do have Kim Min as well. So at the end of the day, they got a lot of players there in defence that they would like to get rid of. Let's see what happens in regards to that. There's a lot of news in regards to that. There's a lot of craziness going on in regards to that. I believe that Man United and Bayern Munich have a lot of work to do in regards to these deals, and Manchester United are obviously still in for De Ligt. So it could be interesting what happens in that kind of thing, because would that be disrespectful to De Ligt if Manchester United just signed a Mazraoui? Will Mazraoui and De Ligt come to Manchester United? Who knows? It could possibly happen, and that is what I'm hearing. It could possibly happen that we sign a double deal. That will cover the defence, and that obviously will be that in regards to the defenders. But Manchester United do need a left back, do need a left-sided centre back, and as I said, they're very interested in Jorrel Hato. Jorrel Hato is the future, and Manchester United are very interested in them. in that player. Now, in regards to Manchester United and Ineos, I have said a few days ago that Manchester United are looking around for the next best talent. Of course, they've been to South America. They said that they've been at the Copa America looking at South American players, and it said that Richard Rios is has very impressed them. He's impressed them immensely, and he is high on Manchester United's radar. 24-year-old Colombian international, of course. He's high on Manchester United's radar, and he could quite possibly sign for Manchester United, represent a cheaper option in that midfield rather than Ugarte, rather than a Zubamendi, rather than a João Neves. He could represent a cheaper option for Manchester United, of course. Richard Rios playing in South America for Palmeiras, of course. So he's obviously caught the eye of Ineos. He's obviously impressed. So I think he's a very good player. I think we should be doing deals like that, but I don't think we should be hampering the deal for Ugarte, and I don't think we should be scrapping the deal for Zubamendi, João Neves, all these players, and Fofana, because there are a number of good players out there. Of course, Ineos are looking for the best deal for them. Obviously, we have to think about FFP. We have to think about players going out the door as well. Don't forget that there's a lot of players that need to leave as well. Of course, we still got Wan-Bissaka, we still got Lindelof, we still got Maguire at the club, and we still got other players within the youth team, Medri as well, who could leave to Pilistri, who could leave as well for Panathinaikos. In regards to that, so we do need to sign. We need to sell players as well. Not only bringing players in, but we need to sell players. That needs to happen as well. So Manchester United are looking at the South American market. Richard Rios has caught the eye, and I trust them. If they believe he's good enough, then I trust them, and I believe he's good enough as well. I believe we should be looking at a player of that caliber, a Richard Rios kind of player. Do you know what I mean? So we should be looking at that type of player from South America, who we can get a deal for, a bargain for, because if he ends up going to a Brighton or something, a club like that, and then ends up being 100 million down the line a year from now, and he performs really well for Brighton and ends up going to a big club, then you know that we should have bought the player. It's a bit like I say, though, we have to get our South American scouts and our South American player profile judging into gear, and we need to start getting those players through the door, those type of players who will be cheaper than the European market. Of course, players in Europe are substantially more money, and if we can pick up a player there, it will be a better for Manchester United, of course, in regards to FFP. Now, Manchester United have been in the market for a central midfielder, as I've been talking about Fofana, I've been talking about Ugarte, been talking about João Neves. They're also interested in Zubamendi as well, of course, which represents a different type of central midfielder for Man United, a CDM, but one who could play a number 6 or number 8, and one who could challenge that line instead of just having a defensive midfielder. You have someone who Ugarte, who's a breaky, can break up play a little bit. A bit like a Roy Keane type of player, a little bit like a Amrabat type of player, but someone like Zubamendi can move the ball forward, someone like a João Neves can move the ball forward. It's quite obvious that Manchester United are looking at a player like that who can play the number 6, the number 8 type of role who could rotate with Kobe Mainoo, of course, because we got Kobe Mainoo, we got the finesse of Kobe Mainoo, and if we get a Ugarte as well, that would complement a Kobe Mainoo. But if we have a João Neves, an Ugarte, and a Mainoo, that would be fire, wouldn't it? We'd be absolutely cooking, no problem. We'll be next season, we'll be on it, we'll be ready to challenge next season for the league, which I said we can challenge for. We can challenge for that title. I believe we can, and I believe we have to believe in ourselves. Shango, good morning. How you doing? I like Hato as well. I've been a fan of Hato for the past year or so. Very, very good player. Of course, he's come up the youth team at Ajax. Heavily talented player who now has broken into the Ajax team. Left back, left wing back, left side centre back. Very versatile. The type of player that we need at Man United, who can play a number of positions. The dynamic type of player that we should be looking for is Hato. And I believe that Erik ten Hag has let Ineos know about his interest in Hato. So Hato could be a Manchester United player. Of course, it's another player that Erik ten Hag knows well. Of course, it's another player connected to Ajax. But if he's good enough, he's good enough. And if he can play a number of positions, if he can kill two birds with one stone, if he can bring in a player who can play left-sided centre-back, who can play left-back, who can play left wing-back, it would be a good signing for Manchester United. I don't know what to say about that. That would be an absolute steal if we signed a player who can play multiple positions, who can help our team out, because obviously we cannot rely on Luke Shaw. We cannot rely on Malacia. Of course, Luke Shaw has missed so much football over the years. We cannot keep relying on those players, in my humble opinion. I don't know what you think about that, but be sure to hear a bit more about Malacia, about Hato coming very, very shortly. You will hear a lot of news about him, and you'll be hearing that he is gaining interest on Manchester United and Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is known to be a big fan of Hato, and I believe that Manchester United could step in and go for a Jorrel Hato once the midfield has been sorted out and once Ugarte gets through the door. And as I said, I believe there will be a here we go this week. There will be a here we go this week in regards to a player like Ugarte. I believe he could come through the door this week. I believe Manchester United will strike a deal, whether that's a loan deal with an option to buy or whether that's a fee. Manchester United could step in and have a here we go this week, which will be our third signing, which will be great news early in the window as well. And I'll be excited for the new season. In regards to Youssouf Fofana, of course, Manchester United, yesterday the news broke that Manchester United want to hijack the deal for Fofana going to AC Milan. Fofana has agreed personal terms with AC Milan, but as we know, with Gerard Branthwaite and Xerxes, personal deals don't mean nothing if you have not agreed the fee with the club. So Manchester United could go in with a bid for Fofana, and that could be overdone, and that could be over the line within the next week or so. If Manchester United put their head to it, Manchester United could have Fofana through the door. It's obviously obvious Fofana's head has been turned, that he would like to go to Manchester United now. What that does for AC Milan, what that does between relationships between Man United and AC Milan, do we care? Obviously, it is just the way, basically, the football is. It's the way the cookie crumbles in life. Sometimes you get what you want, sometimes you don't. We're going to upset AC Milan twice now, and basically that's football, as they say. That's football. That is football. That's the way life goes. Good morning, Mark. How you doing, brother? Yeah, it's all. Jorrel Hato is a very good player, and one that's been under the radar a little bit in regards to who Man United want. There's a lot of names going out there floating around on that conveyor belt, that big conveyor belt of players that we have that coming through. New player every single day, new name every single day, which is good news, of course, because that means that we have a backup plan. We have our own backup plan. We have players who could come in. If we fail with that player, we're going to sign that player. If we fail with that player, we're going to sign that player, of course. So obviously, it is good news that these names are coming up, and of course, these players are talented as well, and they're exciting young players. And that Hato deal does excite me. It is one that I would be very happy for us to proceed with. 18 years old, of course, future Dutch international, the future of left back, left wing back, left sided centre back, can play CDM as well. Don't forget, he is a modern player, so he can play everywhere. These players these days can play everywhere. So he's one of those players that we should be keeping an eye on, and he's one of those players that Manchester United should really, really be going for. And I believe that we will make a bid for Jorrel Hato, and we will inquire about Jorrel Hato coming up within the next week or so. And who knows what could happen on that space? Who knows what could happen? We'll probably hear more noise about it when we sort out the midfield. Of course, Manchester United have a bundle of midfielders that Manchester United are interested in at the moment. So that could happen very, very, very soon after that midfield has been sorted out. And as I said, I expect to hear we go this week in regards to Manchester United. I believe we will sign another player by the end of this week. By Friday, hopefully we'll have a here we go, and Manchester United will have a deal in place for another player to come in, and we can move on to the next player. Of course, Manchester United are interested in the defenders, De Ligt and Mazraoui as well. Of course, new names come in every single day that Manchester United are interested in. De Ligt wants to come to Manchester United. I personally feel it would be a bit cold-hearted if Man United signed Mazraoui and didn't sign De Ligt. Could we sign both? It could happen. Who knows? If we could strike a deal with Bayern Munich and we can get a good fee for both, buy one, get one free kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? That would be good. And I don't think it would be free, but obviously we can strike a deal with Bayern Munich and we can get something over the line. We can just get something done. We can get something like that. A deal like that would be absolutely immense. Of course, we do need to offload Maguire. We do need to offload Lindelof. We do need to offload Wan-Bissaka. We have a lot of players that we do need to offload. And that brings me swiftly on to Frimpong. Of course, Frimpong is another player that is catching the eye of Manchester United and Man United fans. Frimpong is a player who can play right wing back, right back. He's a right midfield as well, can create, can score. He's a type of right back we should be looking at. And if we do sell Wan-Bissaka, I think he will be a fantastic replacement and upgrade in regards to right backs. No offense to Wan-Bissaka, he's put in a shift every time he's played for Man United. He's always done well when he's played for Man United. But he's a low block defender. We need a defender who can go forward, who can be progressive with the ball. Someone like a Dalot, of course, but more like someone who can cross, who can score goals, and who can challenge that right back berth with Dalot. Because if Wan-Bissaka leaves, then obviously we're going to have to replace him. And Jerome Frimpong would be a magnificent signing for Manchester United. Of course, it would be an amazing signing for the club if we bring him in, of course. Manchester United do need a number of positions. There's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of players to be leaving. There's a lot of players that should be coming in over the next few weeks or so. Hopefully we get the deals done early. I'll be happy if we sign a midfielder, a couple of midfielders to be honest. I'll be happy if we sign a left back, and I'll be happy if we sign a right back. Do you think we need any more? Do you think we need more players in there? The centre-back position, obviously. We need a left-sided centre-back, a right-sided centre-back. We need a few players in there. What names would you give to me? Who do you think we should have next on the list of players we should be signing? Who do you think? And what position do you think should be a priority? Of course, it looks like the midfield is the next priority for Manchester United. It's the main priority right now, and Manchester United need to get that deal for Ugarte over the line. They've got backup players in Fofana, they've got players in Zubimendi, João Neves and Richard Rios who are ready to come in. If any deal for Ugarte falls through, there's other deals that Man United could do, and which is great because it looks like we have a number of players. If you don't work out, we're going to move on to that player. If PSG are playing hardball, we're going to move on to that player. So we're not being held to ransom. We're not being mugged off by any team in Europe. We are gaining our respect back. We're getting our club back in regards to European respect, because we've lost a lot of our respect over the years. Let's not forget that teams think they can take us for a ride now. Teams think it's still the same. It's not the same anymore. We're not taking anyone's rubbish anymore. We're not going to overpay for players. We're not going to overpay wages. We think structure is completely changed in regards to that. And I'm really happy about the way Manchester United are doing business right now. Of course, there's a lot of things that could happen, a lot of transfers that could happen that's going to upset some people. If you want to make some people happy, it's going to upset some people. And that's just the way it is at the moment. Now, let's go on to Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho, of course, is obviously the drama that surrounds Jadon Sancho, the epic Netflix thriller that is Jadon Sancho. Of course, Jadon Sancho is one of the players last season that completely derailed our mentality in regards to Manchester United on Twitter, and obviously our reputation. He tried to damage our reputation. He tried to put us in the mud, etc. But we won't forget it, but we will forgive. Of course, we will forgive. Everyone deserves a second chance, of course. But at the end of the day, it looks like it's a bit awkward for him. It is awkward. You can imagine his position if he's playing for Man United after everything that's happened. It is a little bit awkward, isn't it? Don't you think? I mean, if you read that tweet, you left that tweet on there for 2 weeks, calling out the manager, you know, it is a bit embarrassing, to be honest with you, if you're back at the club. I mean, he didn't only disrespect the club, he disrespected Ten Hag, and he disrespected, most importantly, the fans at a time when we really, really needed him. We really needed Jadon Sancho, and he disrespected the club. Now, Manchester United have had a bid for Jadon Sancho come in of around 30 million euros for Jadon Sancho. Would you take that? Do you think that is too low? I believe it's about 40 they should be paying for Jadon Sancho. Or we could strike a deal with PSG for Ugarte as a swap deal with Jadon Sancho. But who gets the money? Is it a straight swap deal, no money involved? Is it a swap deal with money involved? Do you think that could happen? Do you think Manchester United could use Jadon Sancho as a make weight to get a Ugarte through the door? What do you think about that? It's very interesting, isn't it? It looks like PSG want money, though, because they want a João Neves, they want to buy João Neves, and they want to take João Neves from us. João Neves should be a Manchester United player, not a PSG player, or Paris Saint-Germain, who some like to call it, which is the original name of Paris PSG. It was Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain. So basically, Manchester United could use Jadon Sancho as a make weight for the Ugarte deal, and that would be a good deal in my opinion. If we could kill two birds with one stone, bring in Ugarte, okay, you can have Sancho, then we could put our money towards someone else, can't we? Do you know what I'm saying? We could put the money towards a defender, we could put the money towards a João Neves, put the money towards a Zubimendi, for example, a Fofana, if you like, a Richard Rios, you know, and it would be an absolutely magnificent deal if Man United could pull that off. But of course, swap deals are notoriously difficult to do. As we know, they're very difficult to do, these swap deals. They're not easy to do in regards to agents, etc. Swapping, both players have to be happy with the deal, with the contract. It's not simple, it's not as straightforward. Of course, Jadon Sancho's wages could be a stumbling block. We paid Jadon Sancho astronomical wages, which shows the incompetence of the Glazers, of course. And there's a number of our players within our squad who we're finding difficult to offload because of the wages that they're on. Antony's on like 200,000, isn't he, a week? And players of that ilk, Maguire's on like a similar amount of money. It's hard to get rid of those players if they're on astronomical wages. And I don't blame the players if they don't want to leave. If they're saying, look, I don't want to go to a West Ham, if they're going to pay me half my wages, why should I go? I'm going to see out my contract. And that's what's happening at Man United. That's what's going on at Man United at the moment. And it's a bit disheartening in the way we've been run. You know, I'm throwing money at players, giving players too much money. Of course they're going to come if they're going to get paid 1,000% more than what they would get paid otherwise. And this is a thing that we need to change with it. Our mentality needs to change. And I think this is changing. Xerxes is rumored to be earning 60 to 80 million euros a week, 1,000 euros. 60 to 80 is pretty low. It's like the job I used to do in 2002 at Safeway. So basically now 60 to 80,000 pounds or euros a week will be Xerxes' wages, which is really, really good and really, really refreshing in regards to the way we're doing business. This is a really, really good a change in regards to the way we have done business over the last 10 years. It's been diabolical, throwing money at things, paying wages too much, giving players too long contracts, players overstaying their welcome, for example. So many issues have been over this last 10 years, and it's been an absolute roller coaster ride. Obviously, with Barada through the door, with Wilcox through the door, with Ashford through the door, with Brailsford through the door, and Jim through the door, it is looking like we have a team together who know what they're doing financially, and they know they're not going to be held to ransom. They're not going to be overpaying for players and paying too much wages for nothing, you know, for basically duds. And that's the issue with that. Guys, don't forget to smash a like and subscribe and support the channel. Thank you so much for everyone who's joined me this morning. Guys, you're absolute legends. You could be anywhere else. You're here with me. Thank you so much for that. Just to recap, Manchester United are interested in Noussair Mazraoui. Noussair Mazraoui, news broke yesterday that Manchester United are interested in Noussair Mazraoui of Bayern Munich. What that does for the De Ligt deal, it could be that Manchester United could do a double deal with Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich need to sell players, so that obviously to buy. So Manchester United could say, look, we'll have De Ligt and we'll have Mazraoui, but we'll give you this much for both. Good morning, Kingdom. How you doing, my friend? Good to have you here again. But we'll take both for 50 million. What do you think about that? If Man United signed a Mazraoui and De Ligt for around 50 million, Bayern Munich need to sell. They need to get rid of these players. They've signed a lot of players over the years, especially last season. They've got a few defenders in there as well that they need to get rid of. Well, that is one. And I do believe Manchester United are in for a couple of their players. I'm hearing rumours here that they're in for Kimmich. So could Man United sign a Kimmich? It doesn't fit the age profile for this, obviously, what Man United are looking for, but he's a fantastic player as well. Could Man United go after Kimmich? It could be another one on that conveyor belt of names that we're getting every single day, different names. So Manchester United are interested in Mazraoui, and they could strike a double deal with De Ligt. That would be absolutely immense. Also, I reported earlier, Manchester United are interested in Ajax 18-year-old player Jorrel Hato. Jorrel Hato, of course, is a left back, left-sided centre back, and a left winger. Also can play in the midfield, the CDM position, basically. So, in regards to Hato, he's the kind of profile player that we should be looking at, and Ten Hag is very excited about the player. And don't be surprised if you hear news about Jorrel Hato coming within the next week or so. And if it does, remember Uncle Sal broke the news to you. He broke the news to you in regards to Hato. Kimmich legs are gone. Agree, Mark. Absolutely agree. I don't think we should be signing Kimmich. To be honest, I haven't heard much about Kimmich. Heard rumours that we might be bidding for Kimmich, but Kimmich would obviously represent a substitute player. He'd be on astronomical wages, so I don't think we should sign him. I agree, Mark. I don't think so. I think the players like Jorrel Hato, players like De Ligt and Fofana, and players like that should be on our list. Players that we can play for us for a few years, not like I call it like a big respect to Schweinsteiger, right? But I call it like a Schweinsteiger kind of signing would be Kimmich, because I believe that Schweinsteiger's legs were gone when we signed him. He had no legs. It was finished. As good as Schweinsteiger was over the years, it was just finished. And I was so excited to sign Schweinsteiger because I knew how good Schweinsteiger was. But the legs are gone. Once the legs are gone, the legs are gone. And Casemiro's legs are gone as well. So we cannot have too many players whose legs are gone. It doesn't bode well, and it doesn't bode well for a title challenge, does it? It would be absolutely diabolical or silly for us to sign players with no legs, because if players don't have any legs, we can't run, of course. Kingdom, please, that Mazraoui is very, very injury prone. Yeah, I was going to touch on that. I was touching on that earlier, that he's only played 19 games for Bayern Munich, and of course is injury prone. We need to be very, very careful and shrewd when we're signing these players. Of course, we need to ask why they are not played many games. Of course, Bayern Munich do have a lot of defenders in there, of course. So they signed the South Korean lad defender from Napoli. Of course, they've got him in there. He can't even get in the side. But then you think about it, they got Dyer. They had Dyer in their side last season. So can you believe it? Eric Dyer playing for Bayern Munich. I can't quite believe that. That was just absolutely amazing, wasn't it? That a player of his quality can play for Bayern Munich. Unbelievable. But he did well, apparently. He did well, but didn't win the league. So he obviously didn't do that well. So basically, it's the first time they haven't won the league in years. So that is crazy. Manchester United expect to have the deal for Ugarte wrapped up very, very soon. I expect a here we go this week by Friday. I'm saying this. I'm putting myself out there. I'm showing myself to the world. Here we are. Here's Sal. You take me to church, wherever you're going to take me to the Wolves. I am predicting a here we go by Friday. Or before. It could be in between those times, in between the days, in between Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday usually is the days between today and Friday, really. Today is Tuesday. So let's enjoy it. Let's hope and let's be positive that we're going to sign some players. And we were here we go very soon. News is breaking all the time in regards to Man United. New names are being mentioned in regards to our scouting system. It looks like our scouting system is working overtime, and we're looking around the world for the next big thing. Don't be surprised as well if the Richard Rios deal heats up. Manchester United could strike a deal, a very cheap deal with Palmeiras for Richard Rios. Of course, we are looking for the price as well. The price needs to be right, and Manchester United do need to save a bit of money in this transfer window for other positions as well. If PSG are paying hardball, Manchester United could quite possibly do a loan deal for Ugarte with a subject to buy after the loan deal is complete. What do you think about that? Do you think we should do a loan deal for Ugarte? Be a very smart move, of course, if we do that, because then we can put money towards another player, maybe a João Neves, maybe we could do that, of course. Now, in regards to Antony, Manchester United, rumours are Manchester United are looking to loan Antony out to certain clubs that are interested. Newcastle United are interested in Antony. West Ham are interested in Antony. There are other clubs in Europe who are interested in Antony as well. The rumours are that clubs in Italy want Antony and clubs in Turkey want Antony, that Antony could go on loan to one of those teams, a Galatasaray, a Fenerbahce, for example, maybe a Juventus. He could be wanted by Juventus on loan. So Manchester United could sign a deal with Juventus or a Fenerbahce or a Galatasaray for Antony to go there on loan. What do I think about that? I'm not too sure at the moment. I do believe that our squad is a little bit light on that side. We do need players on that side. We have Ahmed, we have Rashford, we have Garnacho. I think if we get rid of an Antony, he needs to be replaced, to be honest, in my opinion. Ahmed is not proven, as many people have been saying. He's not proven yet. So we have to be very careful when we're talking about Ahmed. Ahmed is a brilliant talent. Don't get me wrong, fantastic talent. But would you put all your eggs in one basket in regards to Ahmed and relying on him next season to take us forward? He hasn't took us forward before, so could he do it? This is the thing. It's the risk you're going to have to take. If you're in Ten Hag's position, you're like, can I rely on Ahmed? Can he do the business for me? Will he take me forward next season when the going gets tough? Will he? I hope he can. I believe he can. But obviously, it represents a big risk. Mark, no matter what, we must go to loan or buy. Yeah, I agree, Mark. He is an absolute must for Manchester United because he represents a player who can break up play, who can tackle, who can have that bit of naughtiness in that midfield. You know what I'm saying? So that bit of South American grit that we need in that midfield, who can complement a Licha Martinez in that midfield. Take the ball from Licha Martinez and bring the ball forward. And it's the type of player we need, of course. We need a couple of different types of players in midfield. I believe we need a João Neves or Zubimendi as well. I believe we need a player like who can play a number 6 and a number 8 kind of role as well. If we can sign a number 6 or number 8 and sign Ugarte, it would be absolutely immense. If we get Ugarte on loan and put it towards the Zubimendi or put it towards the João Neves, that would be absolutely immense for Manchester United, of course. And we'll be very, very excited for the coming season. Coming in very, very soon. Fulham will be up and running very, very soon. And we have to be ready. We have to have the players in. We have to have the players out. Ten Hag, I want Ten Hag to have a couple of friendly games with a few of those new signings in the side, because so he can work on tactics, so he can work on implementing those formations and structures that he wants to materialize during the season. Of course, last season and the season before, he didn't have that opportunity with all the players injured or all the players who have not been done transfer wise, and we ended up having bad starts to the season. So this time we need our players in, and we need to give Ten Hag the best opportunity possible to be successful next season and to fulfill my prediction, which is of course challenging for the league title, which I want very, very much, because we're Manchester United, we should be challenging for the league title. Of course, in regards to Ugarte, he has put in a transfer request. And as we know, once a player puts in a transfer request, that is it. You know, it's only one way that's going to go. That a transfer request will be coming through. A transfer will be coming through, because once a player is unhappy, it doesn't make viable sense. It doesn't make financial sense to keep the player there, because whether he doesn't give 100%, I'm not saying he won't, but obviously when you're mentally not right, it's not going to be great for the team going forward, is it? For morale, etc. Once a player puts in a transfer request, like it happened to us with Cristiano Ronaldo when he wanted to leave, it's not the best thing to keep them. Of course, the old prisoner thing, keeping me prisoned and stuff like that. Do you remember those days? Goodness me, if that's prison, I'm taking prison. Do you know what I'm saying? Playing for Man United. Any Ignacio news, Kenny? Basically, there was news a few days ago that Manchester United are interested in Ignacio, but obviously Manchester United need to sell to buy at the moment. It looks like we're looking at the Bayern Munich player Mazraoui and De Ligt. Ignacio is a very, very interesting player, left-sided centre-back, 22 years old, of course, 6'1", very, very good young player, and I prefer us to go over an Ignacio. And I'm going to say this here, I'm going to say it out there, I'm going to put it out there for you guys to digest. I would prefer Ignacio to a De Ligt. That's how I'm seeing things. I would prefer an Ignacio to a Mazraoui. But that's just my opinion. That's what I want. You know, people have different opinions. Some like Porsches, some like Ferraris, some like Hondas. Who knows? Who knows? You know, that's just the way life is. at the end of the day. And I like Ignacio. I want Ignacio to be at Manchester United next season. I agree, Mark, as well. In regards to your other comment, in regards to Rashford, I think Rashford, we should cash in. I said it a few days ago. I know a lot of people are going to hate on me for that, but I think Rashford needs to be, we need to cash in on Rashford. We do need to cash in on Rashford because he's going to be full profit as well. We're going to get the full money that we could put before, all towards, all of it, all that Skrilla towards the transfer market and buying players. How much is Rashford going to go for? 80? 80 million to go towards... Come on, guys. That's two players. That's two players with Ineos. That's two players. We could squeeze a couple of... We could squeeze 3 players out of that. 80 million. We could squeeze 3 players out of that. We get a Richard Rios, right? We'll get a Ugarte. And we get a Mazraoui. Maybe. But at the end of the day, as Mark says, Mazraoui is a no for me as well. Because of his injury record. Because basically... I feel like I get the impression that Bayern Munich just want to make money. And I feel like they're desperate to sell him because it hasn't worked out. Yes, he had injuries, but it hasn't worked out for him. And we shouldn't be taking anyone's leftovers, in my opinion. How do you feel about that? Is that harsh? Am I being harsh? Am I being a little bit out of order to Mazraoui? I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not feeling the player, in my opinion. I'm not feeling that deal. I'm not feeling it. It's not getting me vibes. Do you know what I'm saying? So Mazraoui hasn't got the momentum going with me. I want Ignacio. I do want a Gonzalo Ignacio. Like my friend Kenny said, Ignacio is the one I want, of course. And there's one many of us want because Liverpool want him too. So we're going to have to work quickly and we're going to have to work shrewdly. And if we want an Ignacio, it's about time we got it over the line. We should be looking at players like that. We used to look at players like that in the past with obviously but signing Jaap Stam, of course, in defence, and of course Henning Berg, of David May. We used to look at the players that we weren't expected to sign. Like people were like, "Who's that? Who's that? Who's that?" No, basically that's what they used to do to us until they got slapped in the face with a salmon, and they ended up being world class, like Vidic, like Patrice Evra. When he came to Man United and he had his struggled the first couple of games, then became one of the best left backs in the world, isn't it? Giving me vibes. I'm telling he's a good player. Blah blah blah. Oh, which one, friend? My friend, how's it going, Sonny? Which one is it? Mazraoui. You think he's a good player? Mysterious by everybody. Yeah, Man United. We're Man United fans. We are too good. I think Man United and greed, it comes with a territory. We are Man United fans. We have a rich history of success. We came from adversity. For me, in regards to Man United, it's not that we're greedy. It's just that we've got a team like Manchester City who we hate, really. We dislike, who have bought their way, had a cheat code to the Premier League title. Arsenal, who I do not like, are ahead of us, and I do not like that, and it's upsetting me that they are ahead of us. I'm not happy with that. Liverpool have won a league the last 10 years. I thought I'd never see in my lifetime Liverpool win a Premier League title. I promised myself I would never see Liverpool win a Premier League title. So forgive us for being a little bit giddy in regards to transfers and a little bit wanting more, because we should demand more. We are Manchester United. We are the Real Madrid, the Bayern Munich, the Juventus of the Premier League. We are the biggest club in the world, and we should demand more. We should demand more. Don't be twisted telling people we are greedy. We are not greedy. We are Manchester United. We come from adversity. We represent George Best. We represent Bobby Charlton. We represent Sir Matt Busby. We represent Eric Cantona. We represent Cristiano Ronaldo. We represent Mark Hughes. We represent Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce, Ryan Giggs, Mark Hughes, Paul Ince, Roy Keane, Andy Cole, Dwight York, Leslie Blomqvist. We represent all these players who've won things for our great club, who've won Champions League, who've won league titles after league titles. That's who we are. That's who we represent. We should never, ever lower our standards. Ineos have to prove, basically, have to prove everything to us, and we have to make sure we are challenging next season. I don't care about being greedy. I don't care about people saying we're spoiled. I don't care. I don't care. I've been a Man United fan close to 4 decades. 1, 2, 3, 4 decades, right? I've seen us without a title in 24 years, not 26. was 24 years without a title when I started supporting Manchester United. It went up to 26. So I know Manchester United, what they went through to get that title, and I don't believe we should just give it away. And I don't believe we should down tool our expectations in regards to these signings. We should go after everybody. People sleeping on the wonder, American wonder, over one bad season, I will be laughing at them. Oh, very soon. It's going to be Christmas villain. Mark, who's that? Who's that? South America. Oh, you mean Antony? I hope Antony has a magnificent season next season. I hope so. I've already said that basically Manchester United will have a magnificent season next season. I'm going to die on this hill. I said that we will have a magnificent season next season and we will challenge for the title and we will shock the world with that title challenge. I believe we will. And I believe we will do the business next season. I believe we'll shock a few people, but we're not taking any more prisoners. We're not going to be just making excuses for players now. We can't be making excuses. They need to pull up the stops next season and they need to perform next season. I'm not taking any poor performances anymore. No more bloody excuses. And that goes for Rashford. That goes for Sancho. That goes for Antony. That goes for Ahmad. That goes for Garnacho. That goes for Casemiro, if he's still there. All of them. We need to, next season, perform. I support every one of those seasons who kick off next season. Every one of those players I support next season. When we kick that ball, the first game of the season against Fulham, I'm behind those players. And I'm backing those players to do the business next season. I hope they don't let me down. I have my trust in those players, and I hope they don't let me down. I have my trust in Ten Hag, as we did, Mark, all last season, and we were proven right. We have our trust in Ten Hag, and we have our trust in this squad. I do believe someone like Rashford, we should be cashing in on first. I do believe that. But we shouldn't be saying that we are spoiled or we are delusional or whatever like that. We should be asking for the title. We shouldn't be asking for top four. Top four is a comfort zone. Oh, we get top four, that's a good season. Nah, we need to be challenging for that goddamn title, man. Good morning, Ski. How's it going? How you doing? You think United are way down the title challenge? You don't know. You don't know. Leicester won the league. You know what I'm saying? We are much better than Leicester. And the thing is, this whole new regime, I put it this way, I've witnessed every single Manchester United title under Sir Alex Ferguson. Every single one. And I've witnessed every single trophy under Alex Ferguson too. Every single one. When I say I have the feeling, right? When I say I have the feeling that something is going on, I believe we'll have the fear. I believe it's going to come into fruition. At the moment, I'm getting good vibes. Don't kill my vibe. Don't kill my vibe. Don't kill my vibe. Because at the end of the day, I believe that we will have a good season next season. I'm not saying we're 100% going to win the league. Man City are in the mud, blah, blah, blah. I think we can challenge next season. And we can surprise, let's say surprise a few people next season, Ski. Let's see what happens. Football isn't linear and United problems are based on player effort and intensity and tactics. Mother one now. What hit them? And let's be real, has Arsenal ever coped with the 2 year? Mark, you speak the gospel, my friend. You see Arsenal, right? There's a lot of mitigating circumstances in regards to the way Arsenal have been playing and the way they've played over the years, like in the last couple of years, should I say, over the years, God forbid, Arsenal. Yeah, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is Arsenal have been relatively fortunate the way that things have landed for them. Number one, the first season, their fixture list was extremely friendly to them. The season before as well, extremely friendly to them. Had no injuries. Haven't had the media against them, haven't had referees against them like we have had. I remember last season when we played Arsenal at the Emirates and the decisions that went Arsenal's way. Do you remember? We should have had 2 penalties in that game. That was not offside from Garnacho. It was not. If it was the technology in the year of 2024, that would not be offside and Manchester United would have beaten Arsenal. But the decisions went their way. Not only that, I believe that they're getting knocked out of cup competitions early so they can concentrate on the league. As Mark said, they're playing only 2 games a week, to 1 game a week. So at the end of the day, they had a chance to build on that. I think they're overrated. I've said it for a long time. I believe they're overrated. And I said that when everyone was twerking for them, when certain fan channels were twerking for them, when people were going, oh, Arsenal, oh, they're magnificent, they're this, they're that, they're the greatest team ever, and all this rubbish. They're doing it to this day, right? And they never won nothing. They're doing it to this day. And basically, I don't agree. I think they're overrated. What do you think, Mark? Do you think they're a little bit overhyped? I think they are. At the end of the day, a great team gets over the line, and let's not get it twisted. Man City were in gear, not even in third, not even in second gear last season. They were just plodding along, and won the league easily. And that is the juggernaut that we have to put down. That's what we have to do. We don't have a proper coach, especially physical trainer. Our players are young. Yeah, mate, I think we have the structure in place now, Ski. I agree what you're saying. You know, things are not proven yet. No, nothing is set in water. Things are not proven. I absolutely agree. But we have a good structure now. Things are getting better. New coaches coming in, Ruud van Nistelrooy, René Hake, those type of players. René Hake is very big on discipline and fitness. So that is obviously a very, very interesting point. But at the end of the day, I believe we would surprise a few people. Let's stay Ski. Let's say we will surprise a few people next season. I'm not saying we're going to go out and win the league by 20 points. No, we're nowhere near at the moment on doing that. But I believe we will shock the world next season. Ski, my friend, you can come back to me if we don't. I'm right here for you. James, good morning, my friend. How you doing? Would be a fantastic. See, this is what it's about. It's about opinion. James thinks Mazraoui would be a fantastic addition for United. So, there you go. You see, this is all about different opinion. People have different opinion in football, and that's what we live in a democracy. So at the end of the day, if they believe that Mazraoui is a decent player, I agree, because at the end of the day, none of us are experts on Mazraoui. He has an injury record, of course, but we have signed a number of players with injury records, and we cannot be carrying, obviously, players with injury records, I know, but at the end of the day, are we judging him too soon? Bayern Munich do have a number of defenders. That could be the reason he didn't play a lot of games as well. They do have a lot of defenders there. So Mazraoui, if we sign Mazraoui, it's better than nothing. That's all I would be saying on that. But thanks for the comment, James. Really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on today. Don't forget to subscribe and smash a like on the video. That would be very, very much appreciated, Mark. In 2 seasons, challenge for the title, they could not maintain multiple fonts. It's weird that people hype Arsenal. How can they be so good and unable to? Bro, let me tell you something about Arsenal, yeah, especially in the UK. The most of UK media, most of music personnel, I've been in music, as you know, for a long, long time. They are Arsenal fans, and they have a great PR system behind them. Arsenal have always had a great PR. Now, I'm going to say it like this, right? Bro, I'm going to be controversial, right? I'm going to be very, very controversial, right? I'm going to say certain things that you might not agree with, right? And I think that Arsenal's legends are all overrated. I think they're all overrated. I mean, I come from a generation of Man United got the better of Arsenal all the time, you know. But I do believe it is overrated. I believe Arsenal are overrated. They have always been overrated. Someone told me Bergkamp was better than Cantona. You know, no. He was not better than Cantona. He was a good player, but he was not better than Cantona. Bergkamp was not better than Cantona. Henry was not better than Cristiano Ronaldo at his peak. He was not better. He was not better than Ruud van Nistelrooy, guys. He was not. Right? Vieira was not as good as Keane. Adams was not as good as Vidic. Adams weren't as good as Steve Bruce. Or Gary Pallister, in my opinion. Dixon weren't as good as Gary Neville. You know, I'm going with this. You see, yeah, and they will say that their players are the greatest of all time. This player's greatest of all time. That player's greatest of all time. This player's greatest of all time. It's a myth. Arsenal are a myth. They are a myth. The invincible season was, how many games did they draw? They lost to us in the cup. They lost to Chelsea in the Champions League. How are they invincible? Muslim Yaya, good morning, my friend. How you doing? Hope you're well. Assalamu alaikum. Hope you're doing very well. Mazraoui can play both sides, but a bit old, 26. I like Van Nistelrooy. Yeah, I was talking about Van Nistelrooy in yesterday's show. Talking about Van Nistelrooy, very exciting player as well. Monaco player. Very excited. Brazilian international, of course, as well. So will be a very, very good signing for Manchester United. We do need a left back, and he could prove a cheaper option rather than Jerome Frimpong, of course. But very good comment, Muslim Yaya. Thank you so much for joining me, bro. really respect that. We need a player, of course, who is attacking and defending. 100% agree. We are very, very void on that side of the pitch, and we do need players who can attack and who can cross and who could score. And we don't have that. Dalot has it, but I think we need an upgrade, in my opinion. I love Dalot, but I think we need an upgrade. Next season, challenge this season. Next season, title challenge this season, top 3 of every cup in Europa. Kenny, yes, what we are about. We're about that positivity. We're about that base. We're about that positivity. We're about that base. That's what we want, that base, that kind of base. You know, there's a frequency that you're on, that I'm on as well. We're on the same frequency, my friend. We're on the same frequency. That's what we need to do next season. Exactly. Bergkamp was terrified. If he couldn't drive there, he had a scare. He had a fright on an aeroplane once. I think he had a scare, that turbulence or something like that. And he was very, very scared of flying, and he couldn't go to major Champions League games for Arsenal, Asna. And basically, I don't like talking about Asna too much, but, you know, shame about the Asna. Shame about the Asna. Yeah, at the end of the day, he was a brilliant player, but I don't think he was as good as people were making him out to be. I just feel that myself. And I'm talking about on an elite level. I'm not talking about in regards to, all the Premier League. I'm talking about on the elite level between Man United and Arsenal. I believe we had better players than Arsenal. Every one of our players was better. Everyone. During that period, every one of our players was better than an Arsenal player. And I'll go from man to man. Dixon, Gary Neville, better. Adams, at that time, who did we have? Stam, better. Keown, Johnson, better. Who did they have at left back? Winterburn, Irwin, better. Right? They had Vieira, Keane, better. Right? And then let's go on. Who did they have? Ray Parlour, Scholes, better. Overmars, Beckham, better. Who did they have on the left wing at that time? Who was it? Help me out, innit? Who did Arsenal have on the left wing? It wasn't Robert Perez. I'm talking about 97, 98. I'm talking about that time. Who did they have on the left wing? I think they had Overmars, then they had someone else on the left wing, on the right wing. I'm not too sure who the player was at that time. I think they did have they played Henry down there, didn't they? Did they play on? They didn't play a 4-3-3. Anyway, no, Henry didn't play for him in 97, 98. And I'm an island boy. Yeah, mate, I'm an island boy, and an island boy. They're living on an island, Arsenal. They're living on an island somewhere that we don't know where it is. I'm not talking about Epstein. I'm talking about they're living on another island. So, yeah, that's it, Mark. Perez. Did Perez play in 97, 98, though? He didn't play in 97, 98, did he? 97, 98, it was someone else. He signed for Arsenal 99, didn't he? I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to think. My mind has gone blank. It wasn't Ray Parlour. It might have been Robert Perez. Anyway, Robert Perez. Let's say Robert Perez. Giggs, better. Yeah? So, Henry. Andy Cole, better. Dwight York, better. Solskjaer, better. Teddy Sheringham, better. Shut it down. End the stream. That's what it's about. It's good that United will be like Milan to players. Milan will do the dirty on anyone given the opportunity. Yeah, James, I agree. We dog eat dog world, as they say, James. You know, this football thing, you got to be ruthless, and you got to be ready to pounce when you can. That's what the winners do. We've done it over the years. We pounced. We took in the best youngsters. We took Rooney like that, click of the fingers like that. We have to be ruthless, and we have to be mean in this transfer market. In this dunya, as some people say, we have to be mean, and we have to be ready to pounce whenever we can. We have to be ready to pounce. Trust me. Arsenal big player was the Spanish winger, Antonio Reyes. God rest his soul. R.I.P. Jose Reyes. Antonio Reyes, fantastic player. Of course, played for Sevilla as well. Was a brilliant player. Nothing but love for Antonio Reyes. But he came later as well, didn't he? He came in the 2000s. The best Arsenal team I've seen was the 97-98 one. I think it's better than the 2004 Invincible side. That was, in my opinion, that was the best team I saw. The only reason they won the league in 98 is because obviously Manchester United had Roy Keane injured all season. And we also had 97, 98, when was it? We also had a couple of big injuries to our team. Ryan Giggs was injured, of course, as well. We had a couple of players out of that squad, and we were in a bit of a pickle. I think that in that season, we lost the league at Old Trafford. We didn't lose the league at Old Trafford, but it was a big part of it. I never witnessed us losing to Arsenal at Old Trafford at the time. It's the first time I've seen us lose to Arsenal at Old Trafford. We had amazing chances in that game, even still. We hit the post. I remember Solskjaer going close. I remember Sheringham going close, and I remember it. And basically, I feel like that Arsenal team was the best team I've seen, but still they fluked the league. But when when Man United have had adversity, and this is what I always point on, adversity. When we've had adversity, we went on to win the treble the next season. So who knows, if we didn't lose the league to Arsenal in 97-98, would we have signed Stam? Would we have signed Dwight York? Would we have that? Would we have signed Jesper Blomqvist? Would we have? Let's be absolutely honest here. So thank you, Arsenal. Thank you for winning the league in 97-98. You are the fuel to our fire. You have always been the fuel to our fire. So I thank Arsenal. You are the fuel to our fire. You're the petrol to our car. You're our backbone. You're the side man. Alex, Milan targets and best players, youth players. I'm going to say it like this, right? And I'm going to say it like that, and I'm going to keep banging this drum because I want people to know where it came from, okay? AC Milan have the best youth team in the world at the moment, right? They have a player called Kamada up front. He's the next big thing. They have a player called Liberali. He's the next big thing. They have a player called Sala. He's the next big thing, okay? Komoto, brilliant defender coming through. Manchester United need to get their scouting gear in order. If they want me to go there, and Scotty, another player as well, very good player. If they want me to go there and show them and tell them and bring them to the youth team, I'm going to show them where they are. If they want me to get youth players, if they want me to get the next big thing, employ me. I'll do it for you. I will make sure I will get those players for you. I don't just report the news, you know. I don't just do the copy thing. You know, I've got an inside knowledge on I love football. I'm always around the world watching football, and I always looking at the next big thing. I was at Benevento yesterday, so I'm always looking at it. I'm always there. I'm always looking at things, and I'm always looking at the next big player, and that's how Manchester United should act. Good morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're well. Hope all is going. If Mazraoui is a replacement for Aaron, we might as well keep Aaron Mazraoui injured. Yeah, Mazraoui we wanted last year as well as a right back, of course. We might as well keep Wan-Bissaka. I agree. I agree. I think unless we're getting a Vanderson or we're getting Jerome Frimpong, I don't want to know, to be honest with you. And that's just my opinion on that. I don't know how you feel about that. That's how I feel about that, guys. That's in my humblest opinion, I think. I believe Chido will be through the line this week, today or tomorrow. I think we've agreed. I believe we've agreed personal terms with Chido, and I believe he will be a Manchester United player, 100%. Hasn't signed a contract with Arsenal. Not going to sign a contract with Arsenal, so he's going to go to Manchester United. Looks that way. Very, very good prospect, of course, as well. Guys, don't forget to smash a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all for joining me today. You absolute legends, absolute marquee people. Mark, you're the marquee people. You're one of those legends, mate. Two Marks in the house as well. Mark, you're a legend as well. Mark Elman, you're a legend as well. Alex, you're a legend. All you guys in the chat, you're a legend. £10 million for Aaron Bissaka is just taking the piss. Kenny, can I just say, 100%, mate. People are taking the piss. 800,000 for Van der Beek. Is he the National League? Is he the National League? Is Van der Beek the National League? Unbelievable, isn't it? But guys, thank you so much for joining me. Major love to all of you. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to smash a like. And please don't forget to click the video post it around. I will retweet it. I will repost it on YouTube, and I'll give out credit as well. Don't forget to put notifications on, so whenever I go live, I'm going to be going live whenever news breaks. You get the notification as well, guys. Your help and your support is amazing. This community is building. We're building something amazing, and we're all going to be involved in it together. And I can't wait to do video calls with you, and I can't wait to be doing phone calls with you. Whoever wants to join the show on a video perspective, please DM me on X Stretford Post. I will send you the link, and you can have a talk with me directly. All the best, guys. Hope you have a fantastic day. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Stay blessed. Peace.